Welcome to the free blues course for bass. I'm Marco Túlio Marchezini. I've been a bassist for 25 years, a teacher, author of 5 online courses and a specialist in slap techniques inspired by the great Marcus Miller. I've put together a complete and 100% free blues course to help you level up on the bass guitar. Blues is the root of styles like rock, jazz, R&B, so mastering the blues is essential if you want to become a more versatile bassist. This course is perfect for beginner and intermediate players. You learn 16 songs organized in increasing levels of difficulty so you can progress step by step. And there's more. In the video description you'll find a Google Drive link with sheet music, tablatures and individual video lessons for each song to make your practice easier. Now, here's an important detail. This is not just a random video, it's a full course. So make sure to like this video, save the link and don't miss out on this content, alright? Oh, and as a form of appreciation, the only payment I ask is simple. Leave a like, comment your thoughts and share this with other bass players. That really helps me keep creating free content like this. And one last thing, nothing replaces having a teacher by your side. If you're serious about improving, message me on WhatsApp, the link is in the description, and let's schedule your private lesson. It will be a game changer for your development. If you enjoyed this course, let me know in the comments what other topics you'd like to learn here. Let's go. Before I explain the blues structure, let's get straight to the point. We are going to play our first song so you can already feel the vibe of the style. In this first exercise, we'll play everything using open strings, starting with the D string. You'll play the note D for 4 bars, playing 1 note per beat. Next, we move to the G string and play it for 2 bars. Then we go back to the D string for another 2 bars. From there, we'll play 1 bar on each of the following strings, in this order, A, G, D and A. One important detail, be careful to let only the string you're playing ring out. Avoid unwanted noise from the other strings. This control is key to getting a clean sound. Also, remember to always alternate between your index and middle fingers on your right hand. Ready? Play along with me. The most traditional blues structure is known as the 12-bar blues, based on a specific repeating chord sequence. This sequence is built around 3 scale degrees, the 1 chord, tonic, the 4 chord, subdominant, and the 5 chord, dominant. The most common form follows this order. We play the 1 chord for 4 bars, the 4 chord for 2 bars, return to the 1 chord for another 2 bars, then play the 5 chord for 1 bar, the 4 chord for 1 bar, the 1 chord for 1 bar, and finally the 5 chord for 1 bar to close or restart the cycle. For example, if we are in blues in A, the 1 chord will be A7, the 4 chord will be D7, and the 5 chord will be E7. So the full sequence would be A7 4 times, D7 2 times, A7 2 times, E7 1 times, D7 1 times, A7 1 times, E7 1 times. This formula is extremely versatile and appears in thousands of songs, both in blues and in derived styles such as rock, jazz, and soul. Knowing and mastering this structure is essential for any bassist who wants to improvise or accompany confidently within the blues. The second song is your homework to practice, and it's available in our study material. It follows the same blues structure, and you should play it using the open strings. So go ahead, click the link, access the song, and download the PDF to start practicing. Deal? Now let's take things a step further. We're going to play the first song again, but this time using fretted notes. Notice that the note D will be played on the 5th fret of the A string. Meanwhile, the notes G and A will be played in their octaves, giving the bass a brighter and more interesting sound. Let's practice. The turnaround is a sequence of notes that connects the chord we're playing to the next one, creating a transition effect that's very characteristic of the blues style. We usually use chromatic scales in these moments to enhance that feeling of movement between the chords. Here we're going to play two turnaround variations. This one and this one. Let's go. Song number 5 is another challenge for you to practice at home, and of course it's available in our study material. This time we are going to play a blues in C, which also includes the turnaround we learned in the previous lesson. So go ahead, click the link, access the song and download the PDF to start practicing. Don't miss this chance to level up with amazing content completely free. Deal? Now let's start exploring triads. Triads are the three notes that make up a chord. The goal of this video isn't to teach you all the music theory. That would take much more time and study. Here I'll go straight to the point and show you the notes that form the chords we'll use in this lesson. Do you want to become a solid bass player? Then mastering both practice and theory is essential. If you don't have this theoretical foundation yet, get in touch with me and let's schedule a private lesson. I'll help you bridge that gap. Take note. The triad of the C chord is made up of C, E, G. The triad of the F chord is F, A, C. The triad of the G chord is G, B, D. Ready? Let's go. Now let's play a blues in G, G blues. The idea here is similar to the previous song, but with an important detail. This time we'll include some open strings. This will show you how we can add variety and richness to the groove without always sticking to the same shape. Let's recap the triads we'll be using. The triad of the G chord, G, B, D. The triad of the C chord, C, E, G. The triad of the D chord, D, F sharp, A. Now I'll play it a few times with you to reinforce the exercise. But don't forget, the full content is available in the description. There you'll find the complete video so you can practice the entire song at your own pace. Let's go! Shall we take another step in our course? Now it's time to play the chord tones of the tetrads. As I mentioned back in the introduction, blues is a modal music style usually built on this structure: 1-7-4-7, 1-7-5-7, 4-7, 1-7-5-7. Notice that all the chords are major with a minor seventh, and that's exactly what gives the blues that unique and striking sound. I won't go too deep into theory here because that's not the focus of this video, but it's important for you to understand. This chord structure is what gives the blues its unmistakable identity. These are called dominant chords, and each one belongs to a different harmonic field. That means if you're improvising a solo, for example, on guitar, you'll need to use notes from different harmonic fields to stay within the style. Want to truly master all this music theory, not just for blues but for any genre? Click the contact link in the description and let's have a chat. Deal? Now, take note of the tetrads we'll be using. The tetrad for G7, G, B, D and F. The tetrad for C7, C, E, G and B flat. The tetrad for D7, D, F sharp, A and C. And to make the bass line even more interesting, we'll also add the sixth of each chord. The sixth of G is E, the sixth of C is A, and the sixth of D is B. Ready to play? Let's go! Now our study is about to get even more interesting. The bass line we're going to play is similar to the previous song, but with some variations that will make it sound much richer. We're still playing a blues in D, but I've prepared 4 different bass line options for you to explore. Check them out. Option 1, we'll play just like the original bass line. Pay close attention to the turnaround because here we'll add a chromatic approach using lower notes, which adds a special flavor. Option 2, in this version we'll play the note G an octave higher right at the start of the 5th bar. This small change already makes a big difference to the listener. Option 3, here we'll work with octaves. We'll play the octave of G in the 5th bar, A in the 9th bar, and again G in the 10th bar. It gives the line some nice movement. Option 4, in this last option, will play the root notes at the start of each bar, but all the other notes will be played in octaves. So let's see how this sounds in the song. Let's go. Now let's dive into a very well-known and classic bassline style, the blues walking bass. It's called walking because the bassline gives the impression of someone walking, step by step, keeping the groove moving forward. The walking bass is also widely used in jazz, and it plays an important role, connecting the chords smoothly and naturally. To achieve that, we use half-step approaches, scale notes, chord tones, and chromatic movements, which make the line even richer. For this lesson, I've prepared 4 different walking bass variations for you to try out. Pay close attention to the differences between them and feel how each variation changes the groove. I know things are starting to get a bit more challenging, and that's a good thing. But if you want to dive deeper and practice directly with me, click the link in the description and let's schedule your private lesson. Shall we get started? Now, let's explore another classic style within the blues, the shuffle. In blues, the so-called shuffle feel is a very distinctive rhythmic sensation where 8 notes aren't played evenly, but with a swing that gives the style its characteristic groove. Instead of dividing the beat equally between two 8 notes, the shuffle uses a triplet subdivision, where the first note of the triplet is longer and the second is shorter. This creates the famous pattern, long, short, and it's precisely this movement that gives the blues groove its soul. Without the shuffle, blues just wouldn't have the same charm. Shall we practice? Let's go. Did you enjoy learning the blues shuffle style? I'm sure you did. So I'm leaving you with one more song to practice on your own. It's included in your material. Just click the link, okay? Let's go to the next song. Now let's learn a new concept within the blues structure, the quick change. The quick change is simply a small alteration in the second bar. Instead of staying on 4/7, we quickly move to 4/7. It's a simple change, but it brings a new rhythmic and harmonic feel to the music. In this next song, besides using the quick change structure, we'll also introduce an intro and some special stops. These elements are very common in blues and will enrich your experience, even though they haven't appeared in the course until now. Don't forget to download the PDF for this song. The link is in the description. It will help a lot during your practice. And remember, don't just play the music. Try to analyze everything you've learned so far, okay? Let's go. We are reaching the final stretch of the course, but there's still something very important to cover: the minor blues. Unlike what we played so far, here we use minor chords instead of major chords, which completely transforms the sound. The result is a blues with a more introspective, closed, and melancholic feel. Take a look at the chart to understand the standard minor blues structure. You'll notice that in the turnaround we use major chords, such as 6-7 flat and the 5-7 of the 1 chord, to maintain the harmonic logic of the style. Now, let's play this beautiful song together. Pay close attention to all the variations I added. They were designed to help you review and apply everything you've learned throughout the course. Let's do this. To wrap up the course, I'm leaving you with 2 songs to practice on your own and explore the influence blues has had throughout history, giving rise to new musical styles. In this song, we have an example of a style called Latin blues. You'll notice that it doesn't follow the standard 12-bar blues structure, as it blends elements of blues with a Cuban style known as cha-cha-cha. This fusion brought a simpler harmony and a more groovy, danceable feel to the music. Listen a bit more so you can feel exactly what I'm talking about. In this song, you get to know the R&B style, rhythm and blues. R&B is a musical genre that emerged in the 1940s from the fusion of blues, jazz and gospel elements. Over the decades, it evolved to incorporate soul, funk, pop and hip-hop. Its main focus lies in memorable melodies, groovy bass lines and expressive vocals, often touching on themes like love, relationships, and deep emotions. With time, R&B reinvented itself and became one of the most influential genres in popular music. Some of the most iconic artists of the style include Ray Charles, Aretha Franklin, Stevie Wonder, Whitney Houston, Beyoncé, Usher, Alicia Keys, Rihanna, and The Weeknd, each contributing their unique identity to the genre's evolution. The most prominent bassist in this style was the legendary James Jamerson. If you're not familiar with his work yet, it's definitely worth investing your time in listening to and playing his bass lines. Jamerson was responsible for creating some of the most iconic lines in music history, and diving into his legacy will undoubtedly take your musical knowledge to the next level. Congratulations! You've just completed a full 100% free blues course for bass, a huge step forward in your musical journey. Throughout these 16 songs, you explored everything from the foundations of traditional blues to styles like shuffle, walking bass, quick changes, minor blues, Latin blues, and R&B. And the best part, all of it in a practical, direct, and progressive approach. Now it's time to turn that knowledge into real practice. Rewatch the videos, download the PDF materials, play along with me, and practice as much as you like. This content was made to help you truly grow at your own pace. And if you enjoyed this course, help me keep it going. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, drop a comment, and share it with other bass players who want to improve too. That kind of support means the world and helps me keep creating free content like this. And remember, nothing replaces having a good teacher by your side. If you're ready to take your playing to the next level, message me on WhatsApp and let's schedule your private lesson. It could be a game changer in your musical journey. Thanks so much for trusting my work. See you on the next groove.